Break the board sports. It's your boy RJ Cash. Click that like, hit subscribe. Got two NFL Sunday betting gems for you. Gonna hop into those. Check out our Tampa Bay Buccaneer Atlanta Falcon Thursday night football breakdown. Check out all of our other NFL breakdowns. Got a good one on the Bills and Patriots. And you're not gonna want to miss Packers Broncos breakdown we got coming. With that being said, let's hop into a teaser show coming out today as well. Want to focus on this Washington Commanders New York Giants game. Now, some of the best betting opportunities you could ever have is with an ugly game, kind of one of those hazmat suit games, as a lot of people like to call them. Right now, Giants laying 2.5. You're over under 47.5 now. 67% of ticket count, 61% of the handle to the under, 33% of ticket count, 39% of the handle to the over. Now, when you're looking at these sides, 64% of ticket count equaling 73% of the handle is on the New York Football Giants. 36% of the ticket count equaling 27% of the handle is on the Washington Commanders in this one. Now, Commanders won the earlier meeting this year 21-6, but that was at the very start of the season. Russell Wilson was in the saddle. Washington was supposed to have a good team, and all that went by the wayside. I will say I did call Washington not being a good team. I also did call the under 5.5 for the Giants this year, but neither here nor there. Washington has won the last three in this matchup after the Giants had won three in a row before their tie. So in the last 7, 3-3, both teams have collected 3 wins, and you got the tie in there. Now the Giants, they're on a rough stretch here, losing 7 in a row. And really not, the Detroit Green Bay game, they were hanging around. Chicago, they were hanging around, just couldn't finish the deal. Washington Commanders, 1-9 in their last 10. They've lost 7 in a row, and they just haven't, other than the Denver game, Miami, you thought both of those, but other than those two games, just really haven't been close. And Washington just not playing good football. Over the last 10 games as a road dog, Washington is 2-8 straight up and 2-8 against the number. That's just an ugly stat. As to where the Giants, believe it or not, their last 10 games is a home favorite. Now, they haven't been in the role of the favorite very much, so don't get me wrong. But their last 10 games is a home favorite, 7-3 straight up, 6-4 against the number for the G-men in that role. So just something to think about, something to look at. Also hopping into this, when you're breaking it down, Washington, we talk about home and away statistically, offensively on the road, Washington 16th ranked offense in the NFL. Cliff Kingsbury, people were talking about, next great head coach somewhere. I haven't really saw it. And then Dan Quinn's exactly what I thought he was. One-hit wonder. First year in Atlanta, good. First year around Dallas defensive coordinator, good. But eventually he gets exposed. They got the 27th ranked offense on the road, 16.29 points per game. Giants home offense 25th, 21.6 points per game. So nothing to really write home about either way there. Giants with about a 5-point advantage. Then defensively, again, Dan Quinn, I say this, if you're going to have a defensive head coach, by golly, you better get the defense right in an offensive league. That's why I was against the hire for Washington. That's why I said they need to hire an offensive coordinator, and yet here we are. 25th ranked defense, 27.14 points per game, as to where the Giants, 21st ranked defense, giving up 23.6. Now, a couple other things to look at when you're hopping into your trends for this game. We talked about Washington 1-7 ATS their last 8, 0-8 straight up in their last 8 games, 1-7 straight up their last 8 road games. So all the way around, it's been a disaster. They're 0-7 ATS versus the NFC conference. Now, when these two teams play head-to-head in New York, the under has been the way to lean. 6 out of the last 8 have went under the total. Washington just 2-5 against the spread their last 7 versus NFC East opponents. Giants, we talked about Washington 8-game losing streak, Giants 7-game losing streak. I would say somebody's got to win, but just 7 meetings ago they tied, so maybe not. Giants 3-11 straight up their last 14 home games, 0-5 straight up their last 5 versus the NFC. But when I look at this in all of its totality, I like the New York Giants on the money line here to get across the finish line minus $1.40. Listen, I think Jackson Dart can do enough. Here's the other thing: the Giants' defense is just better than Washington's. The play calling is better than Washington's from an offensive standpoint. I agree. Washington has the better offensive weapons and should really be able to move the needle. But I just don't trust them here. I don't trust them on the road. I like the Giants minus $1.40 on the money line. Click that like, hit subscribe. Last game I want to get into, got the Carolina Panthers at the New Orleans Saints. Now, Panthers coming off the bye. I've talked about this all year long. These bye teams have been pretty profitable. Saints, though, pulling off a huge win against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers last weekend. Your over-under for this is 40.5, 83% ticket count, 34% of the handle to the over, 17% ticket count, 66% of the handle to the under. Now, when you look at the side for this, 82% of bet, 83% of the handle is laying the 2.5 with the Panthers. 18% ticket count, 17% of the handle is taking the Saints. Now, so far, right now, here as we sell on a Thursday, most lopsided game at both MGM and DraftKings is the Panthers. So it is a highly trendy game, so to speak. Panthers last 10 games as a road favorite, 3-7 straight up, 3-7 ATS. But the Saints haven't been much better their last 10 as a home dog. 1-8-1 straight up, including 5 losses in a row, and 3-7 ATS their ATS the last 10, and they've lost 5 straight ATS as a home dog. So the Saints, no bargain there either whatsoever when you're looking at this. Now, Panthers, they're right in the thick of the playoff race there, right with Tampa Bay. They meet next week, so you hope Carolina doesn't get caught looking ahead, because next week we could have a good matchup possibly for first place. Panthers 7-6 straight up, Saints 3-10. The other thing about the Panthers is Panthers have been a covering machine, 8-5 ATS, but they're just 3-4 on the road. Not that the Saints are any bargain; they're just 1-5 at home. Panthers coming off that win 2 weeks ago against the Rams, 31-28. Again, last week, Saints went down there to Tampa, got the win against them. Now, these two teams played back on November 9th. That was a game in Carolina, a game the Saints won 17-7. Believe it or not, 7 of the last 10 games, the New Orleans Saints, last 10 games, 6 of the last 10 have went to the New Orleans Saints. And again, that 17-7 win that they had earlier this year in Carolina bodes huge. When you look at this, Carolina 8-4 against the spread their last 12, 6-3 straight up their last 9. But again, the New Orleans Saints have beaten the Panthers 4 of the last 5, despite the Saints being just 3-14 straight up their last 17 games overall. Now, the under between these two teams has cashed 8 of the last 10 matchups between these two. Now, when you look at home and away statistically, Carolina 16.1 points per game offensively, not going to get it done. New Orleans 15.33. Now, Carolina's defense, 11th best defense on the road in the NFL, giving up 23 points per game, as to where the Saints defensively giving up 22. It's actually, the numbers are right even. So despite most people being like, Carolina should roll, the spread is right there for you. The spread is dead on where it should be, 2.5. It might get to 3. With all that being said, the fact that the Saints got them the first time 17-7, I like Carolina on the money line. I know these are kind of 2 square plays, money line bets, but with all these big spreads, expect some dogs to be covering these double digits. But I like Giants money line minus 140 and the Carolina Panthers money line minus 140. RJ Cash, Break the Board Sports, giving you stats, trends, information to help you become a better handicapper. Click that like, hit subscribe. Whether you fade or follow, I hope you win your bet. God bless and happy handicapping.